really coming resident in your body. That's the ultimate way to keep your energies sacrosanct to you and keep coming back to clarity, letting go of everyone else. I have a friend, Lindy James, who does an embodiment meditation every morning, every weekday morning from 8 to 8:30. We'll send you that information in the inbox. And the value of that, I do it almost every day because it brings me deep into my cells and into my chakras. And that's where all your resources are, is in your chakra system, because they're the core of your energetic body. So when you draw your energy down the core and become the inhabitant of that center of your body, you have more access to those resources. I had a friend who's a comedian, and she used to say, one of the problems with astral travel is you might come back and find your body's been sublet. And I've found throughout my life, especially early in my work with clients, there'd be times when my body was sublet, when someone else's energy was there, when I was taking on their pain or their turmoil. And sometimes in the beginning, it might take days or weeks to really get my body back from me. Now it's a lot easier. Remember from last time we had that quick waterfall of light. So you can call that in again, feeling that crystalline, sparkling, iridescent light flowing through you, washing you clear, washing away all that's gone before, allowing yourself to be cleansed and filled with the waterfall of light. Breathe and feel the freedom that happens when you're accessing the light, when you're releasing, letting go. And then on your next breath, imagine you bring in the same sparkling iridescent light, but it's more ethereal. And you bring it into your energy field, and all around you, let it make a bubble of light all around you. And just feel how that feels, to have an energetic bubble of light around you. I just want to say a moment, a little more about being an empath. So I feel being an empath is someone who sees energetically. We tend to get a hunch, a felt sense in our body about what's going on with another person. We might suddenly sense their chaos, the pain in their body, or we might feel happy all of a sudden and realize we're empathing, we're connecting with someone else's happiness. I think of it as a knowingness, a psychic knowing that's more kinesthetic than visual. So I might sometimes get telepathic energy, information, or I might pick up images of what's happening with someone. That seems more third eye. And empathy feels very much about the body. So study embodiment. Really allow yourself to give permission to fully be in all your cells and to bring your light into your cells as well. So often when we pick up this information, we may not have any story for it. We may not have anything to pin it on, except the sense of, I felt really good and suddenly I'm very tired. I did a workshop all day Saturday with 34 people here, and I was feeling great at the end. And the next morning I walked through the room and I'm exhausted. And I realized I needed to clear the room because what I was feeling was the energy everyone else left. So that's one of my signals, is that sudden shift in how I'm feeling. in the ancient temples, we were taught how to work with these capacities. Many tribes, many indigenous people have a deep respect for those children who are especially sensitive. The Hopi tribes would call it she who sees, or she who remembers, or he who remembers. And it was an honored position in the tribe. And there was a sense that the person with that level of capacity to sense what was happening with others needed to be cared for, very carefully raised, carefully taught how to sustain their own energetic field while they're capable of knowing beyond what others might know. And so there might be a special kiva that they would go whenever they were overwhelmed or they needed to have a break from other people's energy. Sometimes you just need to rest. That's what I love about the waterfall of light. It kind of lets the nervous system rest, which can be very, very helpful. Then we came through a period where this was one of the psychic skills most discriminated against because it was associated with women's intuition and women's power. So it was called hysteria, hysterical, of the womb, hysterical, and women were made to feel crazy or ostracized or even seen as witches because if normal people, shall we say, the muggles, couldn't understand how they knew what they knew, then there must be something wrong with it. Must have come from the devil or something. So we're recovering from that. We're reclaiming these skills. And in the receptive feminine aspect of all of us, this capacity to know beyond knowing. And we're reactivating the DNA that supports what we had to shut down to survive those times. I feel the veils are lifting, that we're remembering unity consciousness, that place where we're really all one. So whatever's happening with another, I do have access to it through that oneness, through that place that connects us all. And as we become more sensitive, we need more energetic boundaries. Early on, what I found was that my pain body would match someone else's pain body. Then when I learned about the light body, which Eckhart Tolle and others speak about so much, I realized I want to stay in my light body and see if that doesn't help them match my light body. So it's kind of letting the empathy go the other way of if I'm running light, if I'm staying in a place of love and light, then that can help the other to move more toward where I am. One of my practices for that is, can I expand to include this? Whatever's before me. Can I expand to include it? Meaning, can I let it be? And often I can. And then I get to be in an expanded heart. And I'm okay. I'm over here. I'm not over there. So it's challenging because some clients are very needy and they want your energy. Some friends are that way. And it's challenging to get into your light body, but that's why we do the practices. So in a few moments, I want to share another meditation with you. But right now, I want to risk having you open your microphone if you'd like to share how you know when you're merging with another person's energy. What are the sensations in your body? What shows up? For me, for instance, I often get a real buzzing in my head. It's pretty uncomfortable. Or a sudden shift in my mood. How do you
Well,
know?
for me, I cannot report a particular, sorry, a particular sensation, but for me, it's more an issue of like I merge with the other person's um, energy field or emotional body, but I'm not even aware of it.
Uh-huh.
So for me, the question is more about how do I become aware of it and what signs to look for, because I feel like I'm not aware enough. I don't notice it. It just happens, and then I may blame it on something else.
Uh-huh. So I think the signs, they vary depending on what you're taking on. It's often um, a buzzing, um, a sudden shift in how you feel, that it's like, whoa, I'm angry and I wasn't. Or um, you tune in, there's a lot of energy in your body. And a good way to know is ask the question,
Mhm.
what am I, um, is this my energy? Is it me that I'm feeling, or is this the other person? I think over time you get more sensitive to where your energy's shifting. And
Mhm.
frankly, the cleaner my diet's gotten and the more I meditate, the easier it is to tell.
Mhm.
And sometimes I don't know for a while until I go, why am I feeling this? And I ask that question, is this really mine? Another way to
Yes.
tell is you can imagine sending the other person's energy back. Sometimes I ask an archangel to stand between me and them.
Mhm.
Archangel Michael with his blue flaming shield is really helpful.
Mhm.
And in doing that, I can feel that it shifts the energy. So then I know
Mhm.
I've merged and I want to unmerge.
Okay, so this is Serena. I am calling from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Serena and Darlene, nice to be with you all. I want to share my experience this year working for a public university in a territory of the U.S. that is going bankrupt, as
Mm-hmm.
you might have heard in the news, and how I really every time, every day I went to the institution, I would absorb all this very toxic energy.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I was very aware of it, but it was inevitable because, that's where I work, and it's a very critical period where, we all have to do what our best to really save this public asset of the country that we live in.
Mm-hmm. I think there are many things. When you walk onto the campus, ask 2 or 3 angels to walk with you. Ask your angels to keep transmuting the energy throughout the day. I find if I wear rainbow crystals will transmute energy. I have one here I love to use. This is selenite. The
Mhm.
beauty of selenite is it transmutes really quickly. So this happens to be a very large selenite. And I just move it through my energy field. And
Mhm.
that helps. Move it up and down my chakras. That will help. Um, there's something called smokeless sage that doesn't have much of a scent. And you can spray and spray your room. That can help. There are certain essential oils that help transmute energies. And I found a great website with an article about it. I think I'll send to all of you. Would you write that down? Um, because I think we will be in places that are toxic, where the energy is toxic. And to learn faster and faster ways to transmute it is really helpful. Um, what else? To really be in a light. I'm going to do a meditation in a few moments that I think might be very helpful. To really call light in and spread it around you, universal light, push it out in every direction. So you're in a sphere of universal light, and that will transmute energies. Sometimes the light attracts energy, so you can make the outside of that sphere kind of dull or mirror-like, and it will ref- reflect the energy back off. You can wash your hands and wash your hands a lot. Water really does transmute energy. You can put vases of water in your room or bowls of water, which will help to catch it. You can rub your hands in salt, and that can help to release it. I think that's some ways. Thank you. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
Oh, I see you're writing it. That's perfect.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Beautiful. Wash your hands in water and rub your hands in salt. Also, a really good bath for clearing is a cup of baking soda and a cup of Epsom salts, or it can be Celtic salts. And some people even add like a cup of hydrogen peroxide, and that will help to transmute energy as well. So I think we'll go to this meditation then. So this is a deeper way of really letting your light and universal light create protective energy around you. So once again, breathe in as if you could breathe into the base of your spine. Breathe out, letting go, breathing out into the earth. Always start with that grounding. And as I shared last week, it's good about once a week to just release your grounding and start fresh. You might create new roots into the earth. And then we're going to work a lot with the light of your being and the light of source. There's only one of us. So it's the same. And when you call in the light of your being, you're accessing that which is universal in your being. When you add the light of source, it's helping you to enhance your own resources. So calling in this light, letting it flow in and fill your central column. Fill that core, that Sushumna. When you first start working with it, it feels like just a little column down the center of your body. The more you fill it, the more you work with it, the wider it seems to get. So let the light fill your core. When it feels really full, then imagine just letting it radiate out through your body and turn on your light in every cell. As if every cell could just light up with the light of your being and the light of source. And breathe while you're feeling that. Let it come all the way to your back of your head, the sides of your head, the top of your head, arms down to your hands, filling your whole torso all the way to the skin, the sides, the front, and the back. And then let that light pour down your legs. Fill your thighs, your knees, your calves, and your feet. So now you're lit up with the light of your being. And then breathe. Feel your grounding. Call in the light again. Bring it all the way in. Let it fill your core until that core feels full of radiant light. Filling and allowing that light to then move out to your skin. And imagine it makes a second skin of radiant light. So now you're filled with light and your skin is lined with radiant light. Breathe. Use your breath to move the energy. Let the energy be yours and universal light. And now breathing in light again. Let it pour in. Let it flow in. The whole universe conspires to support you when you ask for it. Ask your guides to assist you in filling that central core again. And when it feels full, let it radiate out through the body, through the skin, and make another layer of light about an inch or two out in every direction. So that's giving a definition to your etheric body. The first subtle body out from the physical. The etheric double holds the perfect template for your physical body. So whatever you're healing, if you're lining your etheric body, you're encompassing it in this radiant light. It helps your body resonate with that template, which always is full of wholeness. It carries the blueprint for your healing, part of the design. Breathing, feeling that grounding deep into the earth, connecting to the heart of your being. Now calling in the light again. Let it spiral down your center, fill your center, fill it all the way up. And when it's full, let it radiate out through the physical body, through that layer over the skin, through the etheric body, and make another sphere around you about 4 inches out. So you're literally drawing your subtle bodies in close to the physical, so you're nesting inside each one encompassed in light. Ah. Take another breath. Pulling in more of that light from source, from your being. Let it flow right down your center. Fill your core. I'm doing this about the average speed, and some of you might find when you repeat it that you may want to take it much slower. That's fine. Everyone has their own pace. And this time, when your core gets full, let that light move even further out through the body, through the skin layer, through the etheric layer, the 4-inch layer, and out to about 8 inches. So we have the etheric layer, the astral body, the emotional body encompassed in light. And what happens is these subtle bodies get caught all over the place in all kinds of other affairs. This brings them home. It's here's your home. This is your nest. Come back. Encompass the body. And it allows everything to rest. And then breathing again, calling in more of that light. Let it radiate all the way down your core. Fill your core. And as that core is full, let it move out, radiate out in every direction through the physical body, that layer on the skin, the etheric body, 4-inch layer, 12-inch layer, or the 8-inch layer, and now the 12-inch. Maybe 12, 11, 13, but you know what we mean. Something that's nested on the outside of the other subtle bodies. And just notice, are these complete in back, the sides, above and below? And you can continue to do this. You can add layer after layer. I know a woman who does a meditation like this that you end up 24 feet out from the body. at about 6 to 12 inches per time. You're allowing the light to encompass you in one layer after another so that your aura comes to that imagery. It kind of snaps to that energetic arrangement and therefore is right around your body, more able to create a protective energy field around you. Notice how this feels. Notice where it's complete. If it feels like there's holes somewhere, ask your angels to come and weave those holes. Sometimes our auric field can get holes in it, can get weak spots. And they literally weave it with light to make it stronger. If I feel I'm taking on a lot of energies, I might ask before I go to sleep that the angels weave my auric field and strengthen it through the night. And that's really helpful. I feel this is really important, especially around family and friends, not just clients, but also lovers, co-workers, people you're close to. Lovers have a way of merging, which is wonderful. But if they're kind of codependent, sometimes that merge is, I'm going to come over there and take care of you, so you'll take care of me, which is probably what we did as children. And then it can be very challenging to unmerge because you've kind of left your body, or maybe completely left your body. So there's not the resources to come back. And so the way they get unmerged, rather than just individuating, is they have to find a way to pull themselves out, and they often do it by fighting. So they fight, then they're separate, but then they really miss each other and try to merge again. And that's part of why some connections are on and off again so many times. Or they might reject the other in order to get themselves back. I think there's a big difference between caring and rescuing. When we overgive, when we give ourselves away, it's often out of that sense of we're not enough. We have to try harder. When we give from the center of our heart, when we're in our core and giving from the center of our heart, we don't tend to overgive. Because when you're in your heart, you're trusting much more that the love is flowing through you. And when you trust that, your energy is less entangled with other people. So one of my skills, and this might be really good for you, Serena, and probably for everyone, is this practice. I call it a practice of loving kindness. Can I expand to include this? So whatever's happening out there, can I expand to include it? I go into my heart, I ask that question. It's almost always yes. And then I get to sit in an expanded heart and allow love to just flow through me like a vessel. If I start giving my love, I can run dry and I can get very tired. But if I let this love flow through me, like we just let the light flow through, then there's an abundant supply. Enough for everyone all the time. Take a breath. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if you feel those spheres of light around you complete and whole. And if that allows you to feel more present in your body. I so believe in, well, actually the way I learned about this merging and unmerging was with a lover, that we were together for a weekend and when we came back the next day, all we could do was write poetry because our energies were so merged. So we learned at the end of each time together to literally give each other the other's energy back as an act of love, to let go of the other. Now that's become something that I think I shared last time at the end of each event that we do. I honor you, I bless you, I release you. And when I do that from each chakra, I am much more sovereign in myself. So the left hand brings your energy in, the right hand sends the other out. So you might just do that. I think before we share, I want to work with some of those images from childhood. A lot of what sets us up as an empath to take in other people's energies or be invaded is that part of us is lost in time, caught in a scene from childhood. So I had a client once who said, I was channeling Aphrodite at the moment, and she said, Aphrodite, it's not fair. We spend our whole childhood going through all this trauma, and for her it was incest and all this stuff that's so disturbing, and then we spend our adulthood reliving it and trying to get over it. When do we get to have a life? When do we get to move beyond it? And the response was, we'll take it under advisement. And we did. Council took it under advisement. Before long, we were doing something that I'm calling soul retrieval. I've studied with Sandra Ingerman, her soul retrieval, which is working with power allies. It's beautiful. This is a form working with angels and guides and Divine Mother, and tends to be pretty quick. So I wanted to just show you this skill. And if you wish, rather than talk about it, we'll actually do a piece. So allow yourself to see a scene from your childhood and know that whatever you see will be the right one. Ask your angels to show you the one that's best to work on now. It may not be your biggest wound, because that may not be appropriate at this moment, but ask for a scene where a part of you just was shocked, traumatized, shocked, really hard to get over it, and in a sense, unable to move beyond. So my experience with dissociation, with healing from trauma, is that there's a part of the psyche, of the soul essence, that gets caught in that shocking place. So it's like caught back there in the past and doesn't progress. In the shamanic world, they say you can get caught in the underworld, the middle world, or a part can just go to the light. What I find is that the personality, the psyche, does everything it can to protect the essence. So the dissociation is really the essence nature that gets dissociated, that gets hidden or sent to the light. That's a part that grows up, becomes spiritual, does all this healing work, and has all the resources. But what can tend to happen is you're around someone who triggers childhood or triggers a wound, and the essence nature dissociates, and you're left with a part of you that doesn't have the resources. So this is a way to heal that pattern of dissociation in yourself. It works really well with clients. Seems like everyone can do it so far. It's been years. I think it's true. So let yourself have this scene and go inside and let yourself see into that scene and see or sense or feel this younger self and what happened. You probably know the scene because it probably keeps coming up maybe in your dreams because it's unresolved. It's a piece that hasn't been completed. So Let yourself see the scene. You might get a sense of a decision that was made. These are places where people decide, I can't show myself, no one wants to see me, or my body's not my own, I can't protect myself. That's where these decisions kind of get set in concrete. So looking into the scene, ask Divine Mother, in whatever form works for you, to help you retrieve the part of you caught in time. So Divine Mother might be Kali or Durga, who are mother goddesses, as well as really good at destroying that which is destructive. It might be Kuan Yin, it might be Divine Mother, it might be you out, ask an angel. When you're ready, ask Divine Mother to go with you. Step into the scene as your adult. Go to that young part and let her or him know that you love them. Let them know you've come to take care of them, that you're the adult they've grown up into, and you've come because you know they need your support, and you're here to give it. And see what their response is. Sometimes, like any scared or wounded child, it may take a little while to create some trust. And sometimes they just come right into your arms. So let them have their own response. And if they're willing to let you hold them, that'd be great. You might have an angel or two that comes into the scene to kind of block the energy there of anyone else so they feel safe and they see they're being protected. And then let them know that you would love to take care of them. And if they'd like, they could come live with you in their future, your present, and tell them Divine Mother knows how to make this happen. And see if they're willing. Often they are. And then ask Divine Mother to bring that younger self and you through space and time, all the way through space and time, right into now, into May 23rd, 2016, and into your heart. And ask the angels to make a room in your heart just right for this age of you, this stage of you, whatever they want, a room where they'll feel at home. And let them know this is your room now. You belong with me, and you're here where I can take care of you. So they might have the perfect bed and whatever playthings, whatever makes it feel like home, because the angels can invent anything. We've had kids come in who say, I want chocolate cake, and they can have that inside. No calories, no sugar. So whatever they would like. And then you might invite them to have the angels bring in a beautiful rocking chair for Divine Mother and let her hold your child and you and rock them. Rock both of you. She has this great exchange. You offer her all your suffering. She absorbs it in her heart. Call it her great heart womb. And she offers you love. So you breathe in her love and you breathe everything else out to her. Breathing in her love, offering everything else up to her. And then ask this child, this young part, is there anything else you need? See what they ask for. The angels can pretty much provide whatever they desire, or you can say, we'll work on that. A really good thing to do after you bring a part back is let them rest for a while, and then take them for a walk through gardens and the beauty of your life, and show them the kind of world you live in. Help them feel at home. In a day or two, you can ask what gift they bring back to you. They always bring a gift, but wait a couple days to ask. What gift they bring back to you might be the innocence that you had before the abuse. So take a breath. Feel that part of you that's come into your heart. Just bless them. Invite even more to breathe in the love and breathe out all else. And when you're ready, let that young self know, I'll be back. You're part of me now, and I'll keep coming to see you. You can always ask for what you need from me. And then take your leave, go to the door and go through it and close it so it gives a feeling of they have a room where they're safe with Divine Mother and the light. And take a breath. Coming fully into your adult self again if you've left it in any way. And just notice how you feel. So if there's anyone who would like to share what you experienced with that or anything in this first part of the class, you can unmute your microphone and say your name, maybe where you are, where you're from, and share what you've experienced. Or if you're on the phone, do *6. And all those details are at the top of the chat room. Would anyone like to share? I have this habit of getting people completely out of their mind and then asking them to share.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey. So I experienced going back to young me when I was 10, right after my mom had passed. And I still have this memory of just me shoving my face into a pillow and just crying for like and I don't even know how long, it felt like hours, and that memory had sat with me. So I was able to kind of go back to that me when I was 10 and go there with my mom and help me and my mom to hug young me, and also my mom to hold me and young me and help us both know that love is always there.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So let's see what else we want to say to you then. Deep breath. What we're noticing with all of you who are really giving yourself to this class, that you're developing skills that will serve your lifetime, and you're discovering places where you didn't even know that you were allowing others to take your energy. Kind of like Serena with the Facebook situation. There's a way in which, as empaths, there's a tendency to want everyone else to change, to stop invading, to stop sending things your way. And that'd be lovely if we could change the world. What this class wants to do is empower you to be so completely in your light and in the light of spirit that everything gets transmuted. So we worked with bringing the light in and making these bubbles, energizing each bubble. I want to share with you something kind of fun. If someone seems to be sending energy at you and it's really hard to keep it outside your bubble, then make the outside of the bubble a mirror that shines outward. So they send the energy, it gets reflected right back. Not in a mean way, just goes back where it came from, goes back where it comes from. What happens is they tend to lose interest. So often when people get under your skin or they want to create an issue, they need your reactivity because it helps them know they've had an effect, that they matter, that somehow they're being seen, they're being acknowledged. Like we said, people want to meet those needs of being seen and understood. So if you just mirror it back, maybe they'll see themselves in that mirror. But you're not in your reactivity. Or sometimes energies from outside can come in because you're so in your light. You can make the outside dull. We'll often do that if we're helping someone to release an entity. It's just turn off the light or make the outside of the bubble dull like stone. And then it doesn't look like there's anything here to receive. And so the energies move on. But remember, you've got a huge number of beings of light to assist you. It's our job. We love doing it. In most of the scriptures, there's something that says the message, pray unceasingly. And that doesn't mean because God needs to hear from you all day or Goddess needs you to talk to her all the time. It's because your prayer puts you in contact with your spiritual resources. It reminds you you have some power. It calls in that support and those resources. And it helps you come from a place of utilizing what's there, letting it support you, and sometimes letting it do all the work. The more we work with channels like Evalena, the more they turn everything over. Because the angels and guides have a bigger view. And they're not caught in the personality issues that get triggered. So if you're not clear what to say or what to do, just say, Spirit, handle this. Divine Mother, take me in your great heart womb and cleanse and release all these energies. Set me free from them and hold me in your love. Is there someone wanting to speak? We're hearing an unmuted microphone. Well, we're just about at the end of our time. Our request, we might make one, is that between now and 2 weeks from now that you listen to the recordings, you go through some of the visualizations and make them more yours. Choose what you like the most, change it, shift it, make it work for you. And that you allow yourself to really access the information in the language of light. At any moment, you can be connected to the heart of the earth and the heart of light itself. And allow that information in the language of light to come in and spark your own thinking. Sometimes there's a sense of I'm thinking with my conscious mind. That's pretty limited. You can also think with your intuitive mind. That's much more expansive. If you expand into your multidimensional nature, you can think with universal mind. That's extraordinary. You'll learn all kinds of things if you tap into the heart of universal mind. So come visit us. Come be with us. Expand into the realms where we live, where we're here to support you, to love you, and to help you to balance your life. Everything that's occurring is a lesson that is here to teach you. And when you bring it to guidance, when you bring it to spirit, or you go sit in Divine Mother's lap and give it to her, then you're available for the lesson in that teaching. There's a place where you can take what's happening as something wrong with me or something wrong with others. That's the blame, shame, guilt of the codependent version. Or you can take it as, what am I here to learn? What's the lesson in this? This is a tough situation. What am I to learn? Evalena will say, okay, Goddess, help me get this lesson. I don't want to be here very long. Help me get it this time so it doesn't come back more strongly. And then if you realize your soul using a human incarnation to learn your soul lessons, it's a lot more fun. And we want you to have fun. We want you to have the pleasure of enjoying your incarnation. So, dear ones, we thank you and bless you. It's a joy to be with you. We thank and bless and release all those who've assisted us. Thank you, Evalena, for being our vessel. We ask these beings and your own guides and angels to bless each and every one of you, that your highest destinies come true with ease, grace, and elegance. And bless all those you connect with, that they may also find spirit working in their lives. Blessed be.